Could I have a clarification from legal, what 918 says about the money?
Sure. It says that until the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District and the Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District are dissolved, the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District shall hold a temporary clerical role to the Board of Directors of IVHD. And the clerical responsibilities shall be limited to providing administrative employees or the financial means to hire administrative employees, providing the financial resources to complete clerical tasks for board meetings and public meetings. These tasks include creating agendas for public meetings and board meetings, setting meetings, location, dates, and times, ensuring the transfer of existing healthcare districts into IVHD with minimal interruptions to ongoing healthcare services.
Pardon, with the assets and the assets of Heffernan, what's going to happen with that money? So
Upon dissolution,
right,
it will become the property and assets and liabilities of IVHD. Yes.
Thank you.
I would make a suggestion that we move toward establishing our own contractual services so that the contractors come under our umbrella rather than having our services be interrupted based off of whatever the atmosphere is of a board that has no authority over the Imperial Valley Healthcare District. And us being the successor agency, I would think that it would be in our best interest to have our own contracts in place so that when the imminent, dissolution happens, that we can continue to move on seamlessly without interruption.
I second.
I agree with Board Member Medard, but in the meantime, we can keep whoever we have here providing services up and until we get those people on board.
And I would assume that those contracts would mirror similar to what contracts are currently in place under a separate healthcare district. And I don't anticipate that those would be exceptionally lengthy to draft. And so I would make the motion to task our legal services person to begin to draft those documents so that we can bring somebody on. And in the meantime, we keep the staff that or the contractors that we currently have.
Great. I will bring that pending a second and vote. I can bring those contracts back to this board at the next board meeting.
So in addition to that, so what we have here is the expense report from Heffernan. So what happens is it allows for a lot of questions, right? Because it's not very detailed. So should we do what Donald said? I would like the invoicing to be a little bit more precise, not just like a blanket figure. I would like to know exactly what we're paying, what's the rate. Is it an hourly rate? Is it a monthly rate, et cetera? And then and then define what those duties are so that we know we're getting our bang for the buck. Because however much they're paying the current contractors doesn't mean that that's what we should be paying as well, whether it's higher or lower or what have you.
So I'll bring back contracts and the draft contracts, and the contracts will say all of the terms, the hourly rate, the minimum or maximum hours per month, for example. I will use, for example, the Heffernan contracts as a baseline to make sure we're not too far off what we could consider maybe market for this area. But and then in the meeting, you can look at them, you can ask questions, you can change them, you can make recommendations, and the board can take action on the proposed contracts at the next board meeting. But all of that information will be in the agreements, and they won't be too long because it's pretty straightforward.
Also, could we add the description of the
scope of services? Yes. Sure. So that's not a change that we would make to the expense report, because expense reports are supposed to be sort of higher level summary of expenses, but for sure the detail on scope of services and what they're getting paid for will be in their agreement, in their contract.
And I believe that is directly toward our aim of transparency. And
yes.
So if we are going to be truly transparent, then that itemization to happen on those types of things, and to really show the public what is being paid for and how those funds are being exhausted, would lead to a lot less headache on the other end, where we don't have people making the same statements that they're making about other healthcare districts about the way that the money is being spent. And there's absolutely no question as to where that money is going.
Yep.
All right, so I have a motion by.
I have one more question
sorry.
also to on that scope of
services.
I would definitely want to also add that they maintain our website and make sure things are posted timely on the website, so therefore we have access to things before the meetings and not just at the time of the meeting.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Any more comments?
I seconded that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right. It's all good. I had a moment. It's 118 outside. Don't judge me. I have a motion by Medart Jr. and a second by Garcia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.